Well, good evening, everybody. You know, chucking a few peas here, what's left of the pea crop this year, and I got thinking, well, why do people fail at gardening? You know, a lot of times we get all excited in the winter time thinking about, oh, I'm gonna have this big garden, and I'm gonna do this and that, I'm gonna grow this and that. And then of course, the whole COVID-19 comes along, February, March, and guess what happens? An explosion of gardening interest. People getting concerned they can't get their food sources, they don't know what the quality of the food's gonna be like, and there were some rightful concerns. I mean, you know, there was a time where grocery stores were running lean on things, and then one time Linda went to buy some fruits, because it was, of course, in March, we didn't have any fresh much to speak of, and she goes, Jim, it's like it's wiped out. There's no, and I was there 3 hours ago and there's nothing there. So yeah, people rightly were concerned and they jumped into gardening. And it's awesome. And that's why I do this video for YouTube, to encourage people and give ideas, and a lot of friends I've made out there that do the same thing and great ideas. But I got thinking, a lot of people just give up, especially now. It's middle of July. It's getting hot out there. So a lot of their dreams or aspirations kind of fade away. So I kind of jotted down a few notes as I'm chucking peas here of 5 reasons why people give up gardening. So the first reason that kind of came to mind is probably most aggravating of all gardeners is weeds. Yeah, you know, you get the garden going in the spring and things looking beautiful. In fact, there's a time in our garden, Zone 5 here, southern New Hampshire, where in June, things look beautiful. There's very few weeds, everything's nice and straight, things are growing beautiful. Then all of a sudden, it's like the weed fairy comes in overnight, and the next morning, like, where'd this all come from? Oh, I'll let it go. The next day, it's like explosive. It's like, oh no. So guess what? Yeah, you got a weed. Now, there are solutions for that. You can mulch, use grass clippings. There are different gardening methods out there who do just basically no-dig method of just different mulches. That's great, but you're still gonna have weeds if you're a new gardener. So that's probably the biggest thing. And I find with that, sometimes you just kind of just do it when you see it right in the moment. And if you can't get to it right then, you know, maybe write yourself a note on the kitchen counter, gotta weed the garden, you know? So that's one of the probably the most aggravating things, letting the weeds get overgrown. So second thing I probably would say is aspirations are too high of expectations. So people will sit there and say, you know, I have this big garden. Yeah, and I asked them, did you ever garden before? I had a few pots on the back deck. Oh, great, awesome. This year we want to go a little bigger. Big, you know, 50 feet by 30. I'm looking what they're planting. You know, they'll plant a whole, you know, 6 rows of carrots. Well, carrots mature all at the same time, pretty much within a couple of weeks. So it's like, you can do all those carrots. So I'm not being critical, but just things I observe. I've been gardening for over 52 years. So yes, I had some probably high aspirations when I was younger. But you know, so definitely I would say it's not too late in the year to correct some of the problems. Maybe you got a little bit of, you know, over ambitious and you're like, look at the size of the thing, or, you know, drought came through. It's like, I know it's gonna be 100 degrees for 4 days in a row, and I'm trying to grow, you know, spinach. Well, some things you just can't grow that time of year. So I always say really a lot of help out there with YouTube, a lot of videos. Even in my experience, I even Google once in a while what fertilizer do beets like, or Brussels sprouts. Just kind of a little quick, you know, pops right up what kind of fertilizer you use. Being organic, maybe a little more, gotta be a little more precise what you're putting down versus using a basic commercial like a 10-10-10 fertilizer. So that, you know, planning is definitely an idea as far as making sure you're following through some kind of guidance. In fact, I'm gonna show you here, my little trusty spot behind the rock wall here. Grab a couple of things that I've done over the years, okay? One thing is really, you know, having a little plant. Now mine's a big garden, you know, for those who follow me, it's a decent sized garden, but I do have a plot pan. But even if you're having a 4 foot by, you know, 8 foot, 10 foot garden bed, raised bed, a couple beds like that, great, plant it out. Look at the packages to make sure how far apart to plant them. When they're mature, plant for that, because a lot of times people like just pack it in, overcrowd the garden, and that gets discouraging. Also looks like a jungle. things aren't growing too well and like they give up on it. Doesn't hurt to pull good plants out once in a while. Yes, I know it kills you, but if you don't pull the plants out and give it space to grow, you're not going to have much of a yield. So definitely plan on probably kind of giving you ideas for next year too, thinking ahead. But once again, it's what do you got to do to rescue your garden now? So if it's overcrowded, determine which you really want. You can pull some of the vine plants out of the way. Like some of my pumpkins and squash, I know when I plant them in my beds are 6 feet by 13, 14 feet long raised beds, free flowing raised beds. I have no wood structure. I know when I put my vine products like my squashes or pumpkins, they're not going to stay in that area. So I'll actually take the vines and guide them alongside the bed to just kind of stay there where they need to be. So you can manipulate things as you go along. But back to planting, I also have a schedule that I do keep, a simple calendar. So that way I know, now, you know, mine's a little more extensive, but if you've got some potatoes or beans, peas, maybe you have a little schedule of what to do each week. Oh, this week I need to maybe weed, or next week I want to plant some beans. So you kind of have a little plan ahead of time when to put things in. Just keep that in mind. That's really something you got to maybe this year, you can't correct all that, but I gave you a few tips what you can do. So the fifth one would be pests. And that's probably the last thing that really gets people discouraged. You know, you had the weeds, drought and heat. You know, you got overplanted things, too crowded. You got a little overzealous with you know, we got to plan things out a little better. Last is probably pests. So I even have pests, and you know, you kind of maybe make a little plan and maybe check your garden out at least once a day if you can, just to kind of walk through, you know, check out what's going on. And there are a lot of helps online as far as pests. I mean, I like some of the organic powders you can use and just spray that on the plants, like the vine plants to keep the squash borer down. The cabbage caterpillars. Linda just loves it in the broccoli. You're going to cook a little head of broccoli up. She says, did you check those for bugs, for worms? I'm like, oh yeah, I did. Maybe I forgot. So anyway, so you know, there's products for that. BT is a good natural thing to use for that. You've got other, you know, worms, and of course you've got the big pests, woodchucks, squirrels. We've got these lovely wild turkeys running around. So sometimes you have to net things down once in a while. And of course you got the rabbits, and dealing with the, you know, there are some powders you can spray around that keep the rabbits and the woodchucks away. Every couple of days you just sprinkle this powdery stuff down. It's called Repel-All, and that works pretty good as far as keeping the pests away. As long as you remember to do it after it rains, because it washes it away. But so nothing's going to go perfect as far as gardening, but boy, it sure is rewarding. So, you know, in the end, you know, you can pick fresh vegetables. I mean, my goodness, what can be better than getting nice fresh peas, you know, for dinner? You're going to be able to enjoy that tonight. Tell you what, it's probably one of the best activities for the family, for yourself, for your soul, for your heart. Gives you time to reflect on life, and for me, it gives me time to pray about things that are important in life and things that are going on in this world, and praying for others too. So once again, thank you for sharing, and always enjoy your comments. I love answering you back, and any questions you have, feel free to ask, and enjoy the rest of your day, and go ahead and back there and rejuvenate yourself back in that garden. Don't give up yet. You got a little more time left to the season. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.